Hello and welcome back to this Thursday episode of Comp Talk. So if you're following what we're doing, the format is usually a hour-long podcast on Monday with a guest speaker, and then on our Thursday short episode, we wrap that up with kind of an interesting tidbit. And yesterday I was recording a podcast and we were talking about how claims go wrong and how claims go wrong really quickly and how too often there are reporting issues. People don't know when to report, or maybe they do report and the person is out of the office or they're on vacation, or maybe the injured worker doesn't know what to do. And so they just go to the emergency room on their own and it creates this delay. And that delay is what causes workers' compensation problems all the time. So let me give you an example. Maybe it's a Friday afternoon and the supervisor's out of the office and somebody slips and falls and hurts himself. Maybe it's not that bad. They don't really know. But by the time they go home and they're cooking dinner and maybe they're, let's say they hurt their knee's starting to swell, and they probably have their spouse in their ear going, "We don't know what's wrong. You could have torn something. You better go to the doctor." Well, it's Friday night at 7:30. You don't know what to do. And you probably don't want to bother your manager, or your manager may not be answering their phone. And so you take it upon yourself to go to the emergency room. It's Monday at the earliest before that claim gets reported to absolutely anybody. And if Mondays are Mondays, like most businesses, that may not get the attention it needs right away. And the old way of doing things is the injured worker reports the claim to their supervisor. Their supervisor then maybe reports it to HR at the company or the owner, who then calls their insurance agent and says, "What should I do?" And all of these phone calls and delays and voicemails take time. And so maybe now it's Tuesday. Tuesday, we're going to submit the claim. We don't have all the information because there's a first report of injury that needs to be completed. There's a lot of data that goes in there. A lot of times that data doesn't exist. And so by the time that report gets completed, it's Tuesday afternoon, gets sent to the insurance agent like me. We turn it over to the company right away. Maybe it's Tuesday afternoon, maybe it's Wednesday, before anything's been done on that claim. And this right here is a problem. If that was a serious claim that maybe requires an MRI or, something that's critical to the further injury prevention, we're 72 hours in before the insurance company even knows anything. And you're 6 days in since the actual injury happened. And I got to tell you, people, I live in a world of it's like instant gratification, right? Amazon or Zappos, they will ship something to my door in a day or two max. The fact that I can order something online and get it within 48 hours, that's kind of how I want everything. And if I'm 6 days into something that I think should be fairly simple and not take a lot of time, I get kind of frustrated. And I totally get it if that's how your injured worker's feeling too, when they hurt themselves on Friday, went to the ER, and it's Wednesday afternoon and they still haven't heard back from anybody. And so that's what commonly causes problems with work comp claims. 6 days in, nothing's been done. And so if there's one thing that I can convey today or that I want to share, it's that every business should have an injury reporting policy. And there are issues that surround an injury reporting policy with OSHA. OSHA wants claims to be reported, but they want to make very sure that a company is not discriminating the reporting of claims. So we have created and had our attorneys review the following injury reporting policy, which I will post on www.thecompeffect.com under resources. And I would encourage you to download this and put this in place in your organization. But here's basically what it says. It says, the following applies to a work-related injury or illness. When an employee becomes aware of that injury or illness, they must report it as soon as reasonably possible, ideally within 8 hours of becoming aware of their shift. If it happens in the morning, they should not leave work without reporting that, "Hey, I was injured today," to their supervisor or somebody. If the employee was not at work when they became aware of the injury, they must report it as soon as reasonably possible, ideally within 8 hours. It goes on to say the employee must report the injury by calling their supervisor or the applicable off-call number and explaining that they want to report this. If your business has nurse triage, this is a great way to do it. Instead of that 7 p.m., we don't know what to do, you report it to nurse triage and let their 24/7 team handle it. And your company doesn't have to worry about that problem on a Friday night or Saturday or Sunday. The third thing our injury reporting policy says, to make it very clear that we want to comply with OSHA, it says no employee who complies with this policy will be disciplined for not promptly reporting an injury or illness. So we want to encourage reporting. We want to create a written way that we can educate every single one of our employees on if they have a claim, what they should do. So we're going to go ahead and post this on our website for you. Once again, this policy is for the non-emergency claims. If it's a serious claim, you've got a second or third shift running and something happens, call 911. This policy is for the non-emergency claims. That would be my tip for a business to have a positive claim experience. And let's play that back through how that would have happened under this reporting policy. Guy leaves work, doesn't feel good after his knee injury when he slipped and fell. So at 7:00 at night, he calls the nurse triage line and reports the claim. At that particular point, the first report of injury is going to get filled out, meaning no paperwork for your HR or whoever else does it at your company. That nurse triage service will make a determination based upon what's going on, whether further care is needed, whether ice and rest, or maybe the urgent care clinic, or maybe, yes, we do need to go to the emergency room. In every one of those cases, or every one of those scenarios, the claim's already been reported at that point. And when the claim has been reported, guess what? On Monday morning, the insurance company already knows about it. They already know that the injured worker went to the emergency room. They already know that he or she may or may not need an MRI. They are already on top of it, and your company hasn't had to do anything. And we as the agents, we haven't had to do anything. And that's not because I want to be lazy, but the reality is I want to have the best outcome for your injured worker as possible. And by using nurse triage and having your injured worker report that claim, you know about it instantly, and we can let the team of professionals do what they do best and get on that claim and do what needs to be done instantly. That's it, folks. The number one thing that a business can do to get the claim off on the right foot, have a written policy and give people phone numbers to call when they have a claim and let the team of experts do it. I hope this information was helpful. We're going to talk about some more things like this in our upcoming episodes, things that businesses can do. We're going to continue to post more resources online, resources that your business can use. They're free of charge. Feel free to share them or do with them what you will. We're just happy to help. Thanks for following us today on the Comp Effect podcast. Make it a great day.